Hey y'all. So I am way behind. I am doing two Junk Journal July 2025 with prompts. The first one is with Debbie from Ink and Page. And then the second one is Leigh from Leigh's Art and Junk Journal Wonderland. So I wasn't planning on doing two, but Leigh popped up in my feed because Meg isn't doing this anymore. And she had a post that I commented on, and so I thought that I would join hers too and put them in the same book. So I am a little behind. We had a vet visit yesterday, and so my little puppy got something wrong with her paw. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to use everything in this journal for both prompts with all the free printables from Debbie over at Ink and Page. If you haven't been there yet, her link will be down in the description box. Please go visit her. She does some amazing digitals, and this challenge here, she's giving out free digitals for that. And she's got an Etsy store too. I don't know how to link that, but that will be in her description. But what I've been doing is in one of the printables, she's got small numbers like this. And so all the ones that I'm doing for Debbie's prompt list, I'm putting the little ones on this chain. And then these were actually bread tags. I was just messing around. And then these are from her printables. And I already did metal, but because they were there, I didn't want to waste the paper, and I cut them out, and I kept gluing them to paper until it was thick enough, and that could probably stand to use a couple more pages, but it's done already. So what else? Broken piece of jewelry, and all these are the ones that I've finished. So this here was, I think this was my faded. Yeah. Okay, so this here is hand-dyed paper with Rit dye, and it is peacock green. And I think these were actually supposed to be individual pockets, but I like the way that they look together. And so there's actually 4 of them. So I sewed this together, or I just put some decorative stitching on there. This is I think it's covering a tear. No, not covering a tear, just there because to me it's kind of faded. And then I folded the other one over the top and glued that down, so we have another pocket there. And then I glued this down. Is that one? I know some of these are holding down tears. That one's not. I think this was supposed to be a journal card, but I used it as a pocket. And then this is kind of faded to me, and so I just use those because there's so much stuff in this kit, and she's going to have free things out every Monday. So this here is actually one of the printables. It is the other half of this, and in order for me to make it a little bit more faded than it was, I took some yellow house paint. Actually, I had some left over, and I just mixed it with a little bit of water and put it around the edge there, because I tried gesso and it didn't make it out. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to. So I used the yellow paint. And then I just put all this came out of her digital kit. I can't talk today. Okay, so this actually is holding together a tear. That's coffee or tea dyed paper. And then this one here is my light. And I actually printed this page twice. I don't know why. I think because I can't find the other page, the other half of this page. I don't know what I did with it. But I use this because that's the light coming through and then the light bulb, but I also put gold glitter glue, and it's really cheap glitter glue, so I don't know if you can actually see it. It bled, so I don't know. That'll teach me to buy glitter glue at the dollar store. And then this one is my pop-up. And this envelope came with it. And then I just took a piece of paper and I folded that into a box, or like a square. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. Let me see. Okay. No, I don't want to tear that off. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work this way, but so I folded it in half, and then I folded it in half again to make the box. Okay, so why aren't you going into a box? Okay, that's supposed to be a box. Why is it not going? Okay, that's a triangle. Where? Okay, I will show that in a different video, or if I can find a different piece of paper. That one's not big enough because I don't know why this is not working. Do I need one more piece? Okay, that's what I did. And then I made the box. So these actually fold in like that. That's a terrible example, y'all, but I folded in the edges there after I made it into a square, so it'll pop up like that, and it's cardstock, so it will keep its shape. And that's my little lady in there. And then, okay, this is also light, but that's only because I didn't know what to do, and it's also kind of a pop-up as well. This is one of her fussy cuts, and then these tags came with it too, and these tags actually go into a different printable that she has, and I think I put it up because I'm not going to use it yet. So that's where I'm at with Debbie at Ink and Page. And then the ones, okay, this, I'm going to do this and this one on camera. So this is where I'm at. This is my botanical. So this is a die cut that I have, and then I had some tea dyed cardstock. Actually, I think that's sketch paper. And I don't know what I did. Oh, here we go. I was looking for something else and I totally forgot that I had these. And because this one here, the colors kind of went with what's going on here, I glued down 3 of them. So that's my botanical. And since this is Leigh's prompt list, there's also from Debbie's freebies, she's got large and small numbers. So I'm taking her large numbers and I'm putting them on Leigh's. That way I don't get confused on what's what in case I'm doing this off camera. So this is my botanical for Leigh. This is my something vintage. So this is a fussy cut that I glued a tea bag on top of. And then this is going to be made into a pocket. I was going to make it a journal card, but then I forgot that I had glued that on there and stitched over the, added more stitching there. So that's, these are both going to be pockets, which brings us up to a tag. So I've already laid this out here. And again, this is from Debbie's. These two are from Debbie's. This is from Debbie's stuff. So this here, I think it's a fussy cut. It might be Tim Holtz. I'm not sure. I know I did buy a whole bunch of stuff, die cuts and some paper the last time I was at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, but it wasn't really, it was a while ago, so I don't remember exactly. And I think I'm gonna have to get another one of these because I have these little bottles, spray bottles. They're like 2 ounces, and I was messing with alcohol inks one day, and one of those little bottles has 90% alcohol in it, and then the other one is water. And yep, you guessed it, I picked up the wrong one. So I squirted that with like 3 or 4 squirts of alcohol before I realized that it was alcohol. So I doused it with some water, and I do have a re-inker, and that's walnut stain. And so I put that on there, but it's not really, I think I'm gonna have to get a new pad. So make sure, and I do have it labeled, that's a sad thing. Okay, so I think I wanna just like kind of distress these edges actually. Not all of them, but just take out little chunks here and there just to give it some interest. Right, yeah, we'll tear that part right there too. And if you're new to junk journaling, if you're tearing something and you tear it towards you, you're gonna get the white edge. And if you tear it away from you, it's gonna be a clean edge like that. So your choice on which way you tear it, if you do distress your papers like that. Yeah, actually, I guess that's not too bad. I thought it was darker though. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this down here. And the next one, where am I at here? Oh, one color. No. My one color, so I'll explain that while I'm doing this here. My journal itself here, actually, this is the second cover that I made, because the first cover, sometimes I put batting, quilting batting in between on my book page, and it was kind of bowing out. I don't really know how to explain that well, and I should have showed you before I tore it all to pieces. But I was cutting it up so I could throw it in my trash can and leave some space there. And then I realized that I could actually use those pieces there. No, is that how I wanted that? Yeah. And then, okay, he's gonna go there. I could actually use those pieces for like book plates or something, and then the next prompt is one color, and even though this is kind of 2 colors, it's one color blended, and so I am going to make pockets out of those because there's no reason to waste that. Because I don't know why I thought to throw it away immediately, but there's really no mistakes in this craft, because if something doesn't work out the way you had it in your head, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be better than what you really expected from it in the first place. At least that's been my experience. Okay, and I'm gonna put that little bird there. And then this is just a leftover piece of the tea bag that I was using. And I want you to be able to see that. And then just put a little bit more glue down there. So this is not a Sugar Bells icing piping bottle. It seems every time I need one lately, they're out of them, and I had to get a different, that's just a generic brand. And I had to buy a different tip for it because the one that came with it is too big. And this one here, I think is still bigger than what I want. So, okay. So let's find a place to put those. Yeah, I'll put that one there. And we actually, let's make it an upper tuck. And you don't have to leave your threads there. I happen to like that look. And originally I wasn't going to do that, but because I usually do that, I forgot that I wasn't doing that. So some things don't have strings extra threads hanging down, and some do. So that's that. And if this is Fabri-Tac that I'm using, if I didn't say that already. And if it seeps out and you rub it off before it dries completely, you'll be able to get it off pretty easy. Although I buy Fabri-Tac by the case, just because it is expensive glue, but it's cheaper if you buy it by the case. And let's go back here somewhere. Okay, this here is what I was going to use for that. So since I found that page, this is what we're going to do here. So I just cut these up so they would fit in the trash can, right? Not just random. And so I decided to make these into pockets. So what I'm going to do is, don't forget to cap your glue. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that I have my threads out of the way. And I have it on a decorative stitch. And we're just gonna go all the way around. You're using a decorative stitch that is in some form of a zigzag. You always want to make sure that the needle is back in the middle position when you turn the corner, because it gives you a better, a prettier, I don't know how to explain it. It looks better, and you won't, because it'll be in the right direction. I don't know how to explain that. I did not explain that very well. But see, like if I go there, then it's going to come off. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lift that up and then move that over. And if you notice, these are not straight in any way, shape, or form, because I wasn't trying to make them straight. I was just trying to cut them up because my trash can is a little full. And it was one of those, we're gonna stick your foot in there and and mash everything down so I don't have to get up and go get a fresh bag. Okay, so this is gonna give it a little bulk, but that's okay because most of the stuff that I've made so far is not bulky. And the reason I picked this page for these is because, I don't know what that's there. Oh, is because the butterflies there, I won't be hiding those butterflies. And these match so well with the colors that are already there. Yeah, I don't like this bottle. When I went to look, they didn't have any Sugar Bells icing piping bottles. And I think that's a condiment bottle, which really it wouldn't be so bad, but it is cheap. And so the plastic is very flimsy. And, I mean, icing piping bottles are, you know, they're thin, but that seems to be thinner. I don't know. Then also, I didn't, normally when Amazon delivers stuff, I get an email, and for some reason, I didn't get an email immediately. The only reason I knew that it was outside is because they did not put it in my drop box. They actually came into my fence and put it on the steps there, so there's no telling how long that was sitting there. After May 6th, here we go. Okay, and so then also, I do have some embossing powder, and I have them in, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 different colors, and then I used an embossing pen to put it on there. But I can tell you, I haven't used embossing powder from like Tim Holtz or any name brand. What I bought, since I hadn't, oh no, I went this side. Since I hadn't used it before, I just went ahead and bought the cheap stuff because I wanted to play around with it, and in case I didn't like it or couldn't figure out how to use it properly, or, you know, whatever, I just bought the cheap stuff, so I wasn't going to waste that much money if I decided I didn't like it. And I don't know how well you can see that, but it, like right here and right around that edge there, and it's full of bubbles. Yeah, so don't buy the cheap ones is what I'm saying, right? And this is just another, or actually the other side of the tea bag. And I'm just going to tear this up and put it under here. Let me do it this way. Yeah, okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and change this to a straight stitch. And I'm just going to, yeah, actually that, let me see. I want to see that little grunge spot there. Okay. So I put it on a straight stitch, and I'm just going to go around. Not necessarily a square, but not necessarily a circle either, because it's torn kind of randomly into a squarish, a circlish square. Okay. Okay, and then this one, I'm gonna go ahead and put that right there so you can use it as a page tab also. Yeah, I keep looking. Every day I've looked for those Sugar Bell bottles because those are the ones that I found to be the best for my Fabrifix. Okay. So that's that, and let's see. Will these fit in there? Oh, I don't know where my 3 went. That's not going to fit there, so I will, what I do? Oh, here we go. So I'm going to put that one right there. Okay, so now I can cross these off my list. Botanical, something vintage, and a tag, and 1 color. So I don't even know what today is. Today is the 9th, I think. Yes, today is the 9th. So I'm only 3 days behind. That's not too bad. And then with Debbie, I'm only 4 days behind. So the folio, I think I'm going to do that in a couple of days. I think I'm going to skip that one because I've actually never made a folio before. And so I did watch the video that she made hers with, and she actually folded some of the pages in the book. I don't even know how she did it actually. She added another page, and then she folded something like this and like that, and I don't want to do that. So, or well, I don't know if that's how I want to do it or not. And so since I've never made one, I'm going to mess around with it for a little bit, and then I'll get back to you on that. So I'm going to get together and see what I can do for the paint, the hidden and the transparent. And let me put you on pause for a second, and I will get the rest of those print digitals that I printed Monday. Okay, so those large tags, these I believe are supposed to be cut individually, but I had a different idea for that, and so that's why I haven't used that yet. And then these are left over from the ephemera pack from the first week, and then all this stuff I fussy cut out already, and it's all the ephemera pack for week 2. So there's some good stuff in here. Lots of good stuff. That's upside down. Oh, that whole thing is upside down. So she does some really gorgeous digitals. So got some large tags, some journal cards. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these yet. But then she's also got more pages. And actually, this is from the first week. And these sides are from the second week. That's from the first week. She said she wasn't going to do any more extra pages, but she did. Because she always does. So, or, well, maybe not always, but usually. So, and look at that. Isn't that pretty? Maybe I didn't realize I could have used that for my botanical. Oh yeah, I got enough pages here for a whole nother journal. Oh, I printed that. I printed some of these twice. These are actually different. Okay, so that's that. I will put both of their page links down below, and make sure that you go check out what they're doing. And Leigh actually has an entire list of everybody that has joined her in her description box. So if you want to see what everybody else is doing, just make sure you hit that drop down box, and then you can just click over and see what go to everybody's channel if you want to. So I hope everyone's having a great day, and happy crafting.